Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever. As we end this year, celebrating this Christmas season, I just once again want to thank you all, to all our supporters, for all your help, for your donations, for your prayers. We, thanks be to God, again through your generosity, managed to make our Giving Tuesday appeal, so we'll be sending that help to the great projects in Iraq and in Egypt. And also, as we come to the end of the year, if you're thinking of end-of-year donations, we're always grateful. Jesus is Emmanuel, God with us. That simple statement is world-changing and, for the Christian, life-changing. It's the reason for Christmas, this beautiful season we've now entered, a season of joy and of hope. Many people believe in God, more probably than we realize, but that God is a God of distance, the deist God, far away, uninvolved, uninterested in the affairs of man. This is not Christianity. The essence of the good news, confirmed and strengthened by the fact of the resurrection, is the stupendous statement that Jesus is God. The babe of Bethlehem, adored by the shepherds and the men who were wise, is the second person of the Trinity. God is not far off. He sleeps in a dirty stable, recognized not just by the poor and the lowly and the seekers who are wise, but in that powerful biblical tradition by the animals, the ox and the ass. Jesus, named by the one chosen to be a spiritual father to him, the spiritual father to him, St. Joseph, the just man, Jesus is, as his name means, one who saves. What does that mean in the first quarter of the 21st century? The concept of being saved is quite meaningless to most people. Really, even many Christians, if you ask them, would not be able to say what being saved means and what they're saved from. The concept is quite misunderstood by people. What are they saved from? From sin and death, of course, the very heart of the preaching of the gospel, and the need to preach that in a new and effective way is essential if we are to have a real evangelization for a world that does not know the good news. Sin, that separation from the life of God, and death, the final enemy, is perhaps not considered by many except in a moment of existential crisis like severe illness or the death of a loved one. The other moment, when God can break through the clouds, as it were, is the birth of a baby. For a moment, parents wonder about the meaning of life. Maybe that's why Christmas still has an almost mythical power. Who is this child that turned the world upside down? Yet still, the meaning of Christmas and the very message of the gospel will have no power and will not convict and convert unless we can understand not only what being saved means, but why our eternal destiny depends on knowing our need for it, and how knowing and accepting the truth of the Christian faith will make our lives truly human. Part of the answer for us to meditate on during this Christmas season, and what must be a part of a new language of evangelization, were some words I read recently of William of St. Thierry, a 12th century Cistercian monk. What does it mean to be saved? William writes, addressing God, "You first loved us so that we might love you. And that was not because you needed to be loved by us, but because we could not be what you created us to be, except by loving you." Without the ability to love God, to know him and respond to him, we will never be truly human. We will not be what God created us to be. Evangelization is helping people to know that truth. Christianity, the faith, says William, again addressing God, receiving from you the gift of loving you and being loved by you. Without Christ, without Christmas, the cross and resurrection, we would not know love. Life without that is life without salvation. It is ultimately empty and meaningless. Christmas is receiving from God the gift of loving him and seeing and knowing his love for us in the image of the baby in the crib. blessed, peaceful, and happy Christmas. Brethren, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, like a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.